What is the single most important factor in building a meaningful relationship with your clients? That's trust. My name is Joey Thomas, entrepreneur and small business educator here with 17 Hats. Today we're talking about the all-important topic, trust. Trust is the true currency of any business. See, understanding the economy of trust helps you keep momentum going, and it builds true loyalty in the long run. Now, see, without trust, influence is damaged and you lose sales. Transactions will fail. And if you really think about it, the sole purpose of all of our marketing and messaging and branding is really to build trust, because with that trust, you can safely move forward. Your potential buyers can make a decision now to take the next step with you and get to know your brand. Now, there is trust that you have to build before someone reaches out to you and even during the client experience, right? And so the major challenge is that you cannot buy trust. You can't force it. You have to earn it. So that's what we're talking about today, is the best ways to build trust. Now, building trust is the best way to show that you have their best interest in mind and that you aren't just focused on yourself. Okay, so today, let's go through just a few tips and ideas about how you can think about the idea of trust and how to build that with your clients effectively. So number one is familiarity. Okay, what is that? Now, there is something in psychology, a psychological principle called the mere exposure effect. All that means is the repeated exposure to a stimulus, to any stimulus, will increase the preference for that stimulus over time. And when a person is then introduced to something new, like your brand, just mixing in something familiar, like sights and sounds, shapes and colors, text, logos, it will help people feel more comfortable. So think about it. Think about a baby who hears a mother's voice before they're born and that connection that they have. Think about maybe the first vacation you took and it was near a waterfall, and then you find yourself going to waterfalls over and over again. And then just the mere sound of a running water or like a fountain outside just kind of takes you to this peaceful place. Or even these repeated songs on the radio. You know those songs that you first think it's annoying or you don't like it, but it gets played over and over and you find yourself kind of tapping your feet or humming along to it. That is this effect, right? So in business though, you have to now think about how they can become more familiar with you. So just exposure to you over and over again with all of the kind of competing ads and stimulus that's out there. It used to be that they would only have to hear about your brand 7 times in different ways to kind of get that, to take a step forward, to feel that trust. But now it's even more than that. It could be 7 to 12 times. So just being exposed in somewhere or another. So let's think about ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, email lists, right? Facebook, you get on Facebook or Instagram Live, so you're showing yourself over and over again. You get out to the community and you start giving back, or even start sending personalized messages to your clients, showing your face, right? Or even letting them hear your voice in a voicemail, or sending them a handwritten note. All of these things just help them to become more and more familiar with you. And the more familiar they are, the more trust that's going to build, right? So let's say you're deciding on what type of branding to use. Now, there are so many multi-million-dollar companies that have put just tons and tons of money into figuring out their brand, let's say luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Tom Ford, they have put so much effort into making sure they're speaking the right language to their target audience. So if you now, given that your audience could have already been exposed to those brands, you want to do something, you want to brand yourself in a way that feels familiar. So colors that are like Louis Vuitton or Gucci, or logos like Versace or Hermes, right? So different things that kind of bring that feeling of luxury. Like I said, people are already used to it. Or let's just say you're not going for that ultra luxury brand, but you're something like Lululemon or Coach, right? Just depending on the client you are trying to attract. Okay, number 2, social proof. People just want to know that other human beings like, know, and trust you. And the more that other people like you, the more comfortable that they're going to feel. So how do you show that others trust you? Like, I have seen videographers and photographers use a lot of behind the scenes videos working with their clients, their clients are excited, they're having fun, right? And the lighting and everything they're using, it builds this credibility and this trust factor because they're seeing the behind the scenes videos. Let's say video testimonials from your clients, or reviews on trusted sites, because the more you have, the more credible you will seem. Now, human beings, including myself, it is natural to feel a certain level of skepticism when we encounter a new brand. We just like things that feel cozy and comfortable and familiar, right? So if we're going to adopt something new, we have a little skepticism. That's human nature. That's just our tendency to protect ourselves, right? So if you were to show a little bit of stability through some of the items that I just mentioned, it's going to ease that tension, and it's going to help them feel more familiar with you, right? Or build that trust with you, just using social proof. Okay, so number 3, ease and clarity. Are you making it easy for your client to navigate your website? Or is it really, really difficult to find what they need? Right? I know that if I were to look at a new brand and I'm searching a website and it's just, I can't find, the categories aren't laid out, there's no great search option. It's just I have to go page after page and submenu after submenu. When I start seeing things like that, man, it just gets tiring. You know, do your clients know what's included in your offerings? Do they know the payment terms? Do they know delivery dates? Or do they have to keep probing to get simple information from you? Now, there is a theory called cognitive load theory, that we all can only handle a certain amount of cognitive load, a certain amount of energy that we have to be able to do things, right? And if it requires too much energy, we're going to move on to the next thing. We might just say, hey, I'm going to bookmark this and come back to it. Or we might just use a competitor. That makes it really, really easy. So just remember, keep it clear, make it easy for them to find what they want or get the information, right? Offer information, set expectations, let them know what's happening. And if it comes to the point where they have to keep asking you questions about what's next, it's probably too late and they're starting to feel that tension, and we don't want that. Okay, number 4. This is a biggie, guys. Number 4 is deliver on your promises. Can I say that again? Deliver on your promises. Now, if I sound like I'm scolding you, maybe just a little bit, right? When you say that you're going to get back to someone within 24 hours, do you? When you say you're going to show up early for a project, do you? When you promise to deliver a product within 2 weeks, is that actually happening? Or are you finding excuses for every one of those things along the way? See, even if you did a great job at building trust from the website or on a phone call or the initial part of your client relationship, it is easy to lose that trust along the way. What was once a super exciting venture for your client can easily turn into a nightmare. Now, we all dropped the ball. I know I have more than once. But it's what we do afterwards and how we learn from it that can make or break a business, right? And it can make or break a relationship with your clients. So when you mess up, just do one thing: own it. Just own it. Take accountability for it. I have been defensive in the past when someone brings up an issue, and I had to learn to get past the emotional part of what I was going through at the moment or how busy I was, and just really think about it from their perspective. Trust me, it is a much better long-term skill to learn. Now, your clients are put in a really vulnerable position. Sometimes they even pay for your services in advance. And if you don't deliver on your promises, the combination of that vulnerability and failed promises, it will immediately turn to frustration and mistrust. If I was traveling and I asked someone to pick me up from the airport and they forgot, I might ask them one more time for the benefit of the doubt if it's a friend of mine and they say, oh, I got you, hey, I'll get you next time. But if they forgot again, do you really think I'm going to do it again? No. I am going to find another way to get where I want to go, right? It doesn't take a lot because, again, we're putting our money and our hopes, our problems into somebody else's hands, and we just want people to deliver. So when somebody spends money on you, deliver. Just give them what you promise. See, the higher the cost, the more important the deadline, the more meaningful the service, the more trust is at stake. And when you make a promise and those things are at stake, it's going to make an impact, right? Okay, so number 5, connect, engage, and listen. Always actively look for opportunities to make a connection. With phone calls and emails and Zoom meetings and in-person meetings, try to make connections because that's what builds trust. And when you are having a conversation, I'm actually going to do a video on communication as well. But when you are having a conversation, listening is the best skill that you could ever have. Listening is way better at building credibility than just speaking all the time. It will show an understanding of their pain points. It will show that you really, really care about their problems, and it will show that you have empathy and ultimately build trust. So there's a book. It's called The Trusted Advisor. It's a book, I think it's been around maybe about 20 years. It's by David Maister, Charles Green, and Robert Galford. Now, they give us just a little formula to understand the inner workings of the trust factor. Okay, so follow me here. Trust is equal to the sum of credibility, reliability, and intimacy divided by your self-orientation. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Trust is equal to the sum of credibility, reliability, and intimacy divided by your self-orientation. So what is credibility? Credibility marks the extent in which someone believes you have the knowledge, skills, and experience to deliver on your promise. Do you have the expertise, right? Now, reliability is, we just talked about it, it's the extent in which someone can depend on you. And intimacy measures how safe, confident, and secure they feel in connecting with you, right? Can they share their concerns with you? Are they able to build a relationship with you? Okay, so you take those 3 things, you add it up, and you divide it by what's called self-orientation. That's the extent in which you're acting out of self-interest and not in the interest of others. Now, this acts against the other 3. So bottom line, the more care, concern, and integrity you show in the way you work and how you're inclined to serve, it's going to help you build a strong sense of trust. So guys, I just want you to go above and beyond the call of duty. Add special touches to the service. Like handwritten thank you notes, as I mentioned before, or a small gift. All in all, show your client that they're valued, that their time is valued, that their needs are valued, and also their loyalty is valued. Finally, always, always, always check your attitude. Don't allow the stress of running a business spill over onto your clients. Guys, I fully understand the stress of life. I'm a dad of 2 kids, running a few businesses. I got so many meetings in a day, so many clients to take care of, and it can get stressful. And the last thing you want is for somebody to be annoyed with you or dissatisfied, and it can kind of get under our skin, right? And so, but just don't let that stress spill over onto your clients. Showing an authentic enthusiasm and energy, it brings joy to the relationship, and it creates this safe and fun environment for you and your client. So as you begin to deposit authentic interactions and a true attitude of serving your clients, see, it gets stored in their mental and emotional accounts, right? And then that turns into trust. Now, this trust is what they use to now make buying decisions, and they will now share personal information, and they'll put themselves in a vulnerable place with you to ultimately use you to solve their problems. Guys, that is trust economy. Trust is key in growth. So I want you to take some time to evaluate all the areas you can improve and build that trust, and you're going to see the fruits of all your efforts soon enough. Well, thank you guys once again for joining me for this video. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to the 17 Hats channel. We appreciate you guys, and see you soon.